Hey everybody, this is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report, and today I want to talk about Trump and what he should do with Iran. What kind of coherent policy will he come up with after this debacle of a nuclear deal that we've been handed? And I was surprised. He came out with his YouTube thing primarily because the press said, "Hey, what are you going to do your first days? You're not talking to us." So he said, "Fine, I'll put out a YouTube thing." But it didn't list Iran really. I didn't hear Iran. I didn't hear any specifics, and this is a major issue that needs to be dealt with. And I'm going to cover why. You got this election. Donald Trump went out. He won, and the voters, us, the constituents, we basically put him in office because we rejected the domestic and the foreign direction that our country was going in. And so what does Trump's election mean for deals like this Iranian deal? His campaign talk on the issue, he was very hawkish. But he lacked specifics, like they normally do. They're out there, but they're politicking. He seemed to understand that's extremely unfavorable deal that we have. But what is he going to do? What is an alternative policy that he will put in place? Has he formed a coherent policy on the nuclear program there? Because that has to come first, folks. Before any decision on what to do with the existing deal, we need to know, what's your policy? Are you going to modify it? Or are you going to keep it? Do you have a better policy? And some people say, well, we can't just withdraw from the policy. Yes, we can. We can withdraw from this deal. A lot of people might be upset. They'll pull their hair. They'll yell and scream. You got the people like Europe, they want the sanctity of the deal. But basically, there was no international agreement. So we can usually get out of this. There was nothing binding the United States under the express approval of Congress. And either the Senate ratifies the treaty, it goes to Congress, they pass legislation imposing the agreement's terms in accordance with U.S. law. Obama knew this. He's a constitutional lawyer. He's a constitutional scholar. He knew all of this. But he didn't do that. Obama chose to deliberately avoid Congress and go under the premise that I'm doing this under the UN Security Council, just like Bush has done. He's and I'm not bashing Obama. Bush did this. Other presidents have done this kind of stuff. But you have to remember, we're a country of laws, and no law tops U.S. law when it comes to obligations under our nation. No executive order, no pin and phone will top that. And the president-elect Trump, if he does withdraw from this deal or attempts to strengthen it in the terms of the deal, it will no doubt upset a lot of our friends, our enemies alike. France, Great Britain, Germany, they all want to bury their heads in the sand. They want to keep it the way it is, hope for the best. Russia and China will get very upset about undercutting the UNSC. Democrats, they'll say, oh God, the U.S. is reneging on our deal. And if you think about it, they're all valid concerns that Trump has to look at. He has to weigh every option out there. What will he gain? What will he lose? The nature of the deal. Beneficial terms. Are they good terms for Iran? Can he gauge? Can he gauge how quickly Iran started shouting after Trump won after election and see that they don't want him in there? It's a lot like when Carter left office, Reagan came in. Same country. Iran was upset. Those hostages were released immediately because they knew Reagan wasn't going to screw around. Think about it. And most of this boils down to the insistence that the deal be maintained as is, and it's not going to happen that way. And let's see. Donald Trump he wrote the nature of the deal. He's a deal maker, a deal breaker. What can he come up with? The first order of business Trump has to do, though, with his team is flesh out the Iran policy. This policy seriously, and he has to look at this policy seriously and carefully to consider it. He has to present a coherent policy to the public and to our allies that will replace this. And look, no matter how you look at it, Iran's already gotten all that money. That ransom money, Obama said it wasn't ransom money. He lied to us on TV. Next thing we know, 2 weeks later, we find out it was ransom money. They've already gone out. I put out an article today. They're building up their naval fleets out there. These guys are a pain in our butt. And why it's so important, why he has to do this on the first day is, you look at it, they're fighting, Iran's fighting the proxy war against Saudi Arabia in Yemen. They're fighting the proxy war against Saudi Arabia basically in Syria. They're destabilizing Iraq. You got a lot of issues here, folks. And that's why Iran must be dealt with. Withdrawing or seeking to modify the deal before you come up with an alternative deal, a rational deal, the philosophy on why you're changing it, you first have to come up with all that. And it's conceivable that a carefully considered Iranian policy might conclude that staying in the deal is better, and enforcing it by the letter of the least bad option that's out there. And either way, either we stay in the deal, we make the deal stronger. Backing out, there's no backing out. We've already given them anything. We were given nothing. All you really can do is just say leave it as is or make it stronger. But how are you going to do it? And the administration, the incoming President-elect Trump, needs to work on this. And again, I said, I wish it would have been part of his 2-minute YouTube thing that he put out yesterday, where he gave more specifics on the framework of the agreement, what he wants to do with Iran. This has been Frankie Aberzino with the Uncensored.